Good morning, the globe. Hey, distributive controls theory. I, the word distributive, not distributed, which would be a normal term, but distributive, meaning these control systems distribute something. They have a purpose. Very specific distributive controls. Where do you send what's needed? This is a whole theory of just-in-time systems. And I pose these as theories because they're in practice. Huge, huge systems, control systems, distributive control systems. Where do you send the most important resources quickly versus where don't you send any resources? Distributive controls, large planning schemas. How does Walmart get all that crap on their shelves from China? Distributive controls. You first distribute the controls among the politicians and pad and pay them off. Then you distribute the controls amongst the other people that are involved, and the money is made. But these are theoretical elements of how you control for a positive outcome, right? That's the whole idea. Positive outcome for Wall Street is money in somebody's pocket that actually did nothing. Distributive controls theory. One of the prime requirements in controls theorem is feedback mechanisms, defining the feedback mechanism and the value of it. This is controls theory, controls requirements. When you send a signal out to a control element, like a politician, does it respond like you would like it? Did you get the feedback you wanted to? Did the valve open to exactly where you asked it to because something might blow up down the line because you misconstrued that valve? These are theoretical elements in controls theory. Electronics, computer systems, artificial intelligence, that feedback mechanism. Does the feedback come into a 4-bit, an 8-bit analog to digital converter? How precise is that feedback compared to what you're trying to do? If you're trying to move the 7th axis on a robotic arm, 7th axis attached to how many others on a robot, but the tip of the finger has to touch its nose. Feedback. The whole time you're doing that, your muscle system is giving feedback, telling you unconsciously where your arm is in space so it knows when to stop and you don't punch yourself. Feedback mechanisms, distributive controls, artificial intelligence. This is a big part of how the world around us works across the planet. Huge feedback mechanisms. Inside of that, in our American democracy, in our democratic republic, whatever this thing is, we have created and set up these huge things. They have constraints, they have rules, they have auditors, they have people trying to keep them honest at almost every level, not just you and me. Yet Wall Street gets away with creating suicides out in the public because Wall Street needs their money. So they take a house back and a family goes homeless because Wall Street needs their huge financial feedback systems. How money moves through the economy seems broken, doesn't it? Notice that? Kings and queens with fleets of yachts. Destroying our public education system, feedback mechanisms. Voting rights, voting ability, voting ease. You're here, you're of age, you should be able to vote. It isn't that hard. You already have a tag in you. If we want to play silly games, it's called DNA. We could do DNA voting. Stupid conversations, second guessing the medical profession. Distributive controls. in practice, beyond theory. And the feedback mechanisms for these controls. How do the controllers know? Make sure we can vote and have people worth a damn to vote for. Peace out. I survived the COVID vaccine, but I have to buy more internet now. Distributive controls. Signal to noise ratio, and we'll go there next in practice.